This week we bring you up to speed on MWXC, future events from Extreme XC and AXCC, and UTV action from the Mint 400. Strap in as we bring you up to the race pace. Welcome back to Race Pace presented by CW Motorsports. I'm Doug.
And I'm Chad.
And this weekend was a little bit light on the UTV action.
Well, it's the beginning of the season, so it's going to, take a little bit for everything kind of to get to full swing.
Oh, for sure. We just had kind of a whole bunch of races all piled up on top of each other at the beginning of the season. Opening weekend was a big deal, and then not so much going on after that. But we did head out to MWXC this weekend. There was no UTV action out there, but we did get to preview the property that is going to be raced on at the next, which is April 4th and 5th.
Yep. Basically a month from now.
Yeah, basically a month. That'll be round 2 of MWXC, and they will have UTV out there. And honestly, it's a beautiful piece of property. It was a little bit rough for the UTVs, or I'm sorry, the ATVs and the dirt bikes that were there, but the UTVs are actually going to be racing on some base old logging or fire roads, whatever you want to call them, on the property.
Yep.
And I'm actually really excited. It's going to be a chance for some of these buggies to really open up the taps. I think it's going to be a little bit wider and a little bit more just open in general than most people are used to for XC racing in this area.
Yeah, very much. And like Doug alluded to, it's a beautiful property out there. It's old reclaimed coal land, so they've put it back, but they put all kinds of neat ponds and everything else, and it's basically undisturbed for the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think I talked to the owner for a little bit, and he said the last mining was done in the late 30s.
Oh, so it's more than that.
Yeah, so it's been let go for a while, but there's other land around there that's been actively coal mined more recently than that. So the whole area is finally kind of settling down, and they're moving out of the mining business in general.
But yeah, it should be, from what I'm told, it should be a pretty quick and fast track. I combined quick and fast into one word there almost for a minute.
Quest?
Quest.
I like it.
But it should be a pretty fast one. It's logging roads, and they've just recently, they're finishing up in there even, and they've bulldozed all of them, not flat as in like no hills, but, into roads so that they can pass through them. So, man, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to going out there to that one. That's going to be fun.
If anybody has been around UTV racing for the past couple years or remembers, it would have been 2 years ago in 2018, we ran a new course at MWXC called Crazy Man's Hideout. And that property is no longer available because the property's been sold. Just issues, we can't get back out there. But that was a really fast track that, again, we kind of were able to run down some logging roads, and wasn't part of it on an abandoned, like it used to be a railway and they pulled up the tracks or something like that?
Yep. You ran down the railroad bed there for a little bit. It was a ton of fun, and I think every UTV racer who ran on it said the same thing. That was a fun track, and that was a fast track. And
I really expect this next round of MWXC to be very similar to that. So if you've got a fast machine, this is one you're going to want to get out there for.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a good one. So while we were out there this weekend, Doug did his announcing thing. He just made a special appearance.
One day only, like a terrible show in Vegas.
And I did my usual track sweeping thing. But we did have a viewer of the show stop by and say hey to us, so that was nice.
Yeah, Jeremiah Pruitt was out there and actually took the time to come up and just, like you said, just say hey, and he appreciates what we do, and it's nice to hear from our one fan.
We probably got more than one, but not much more than one.
Yeah, but our parents don't count.
Yeah. No, it's always good. If you guys like the show and enjoy listening to it, let us know. Stop by, say hey. I think anyone would attest to we're just normal guys who are out there doing our thing. So I don't think we are unapproachable at all.
I don't know who's out there calling us normal, but
Okay, good point. Fair enough.
Actually, I ran into Colin Jean out there as well, and he said he really likes the new format here where we've kind of cut out some of the fat and are just getting into the racing stuff. He doesn't have an hour of time in the car. You know, he doesn't have a long drive to work, so he said he was always cutting the other show short. And so maybe we're picking up a little momentum here.
Yep, hopefully.
Well, speaking of some other changes, besides changing the format of the show here, we did want to make kind of a general announcement, since CW Motorsports is our title sponsor, that Chad is actually no longer with CW Motorsports.
I'm not employed by them anyway. Let's go there.
Yes, that's fair enough.
So
we just wanted to bring this up mainly because some traffic is kind of being directed Chad's way that really is CW Motorsports. You know, somebody who would be employed there would be handling that. So we just want to clear up any confusion.
Right. And nothing bad happened. It was just some regular life circumstances happened for me, and I needed to change jobs to do some other stuff, and it just is what it is. Cody and I are still on great terms. We're still friends. You know, they're not dropping show sponsorship, nothing like that. Everything is pretty much continuing per normal, except I don't go work there anymore.
Yeah. So we're not going to beat that horse anymore. We just wanted to kind of let people know what was going on with us.
Yep.
Some other stuff that happened. The Mint 400 is really more than the past weekend. It's basically a week long worth of stuff, but they do run UTVs out there. Honestly, the coverage of it's been really kind of sparse. But
yeah, you don't get a whole lot. You'll get some videos that people will post. Like we posted one of a YXZ who took the whoops a little bit too enthusiastically, we'll say, and he went for a rough ride.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a tail over nose cartwheel. He's going to be sore. Like,
yeah, he is
for days.
Oh, he bounced around in there pretty hard. It was rough. You could see he was racing the other guy, and the other guy was in I think it was a 4-seat Razor converted to a 2-seat racer, but the Razor took it better because he had longer wheelbase on him.
Yeah,
and they were both just like no lift, and then the Razor started bucking and he backed off. Well, the YXZ didn't. He thought he was just gonna stick his foot down and skip over the top. Didn't so much happen, and he bucked and he rolled it several times. He was hurting, I'm sure.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta know when to say when.
Exactly. And it happens pretty much every year out there. In the desert racing, they run higher speeds and stuff like that, and when something does come up, like a big whoop or a hole or something like that, or you do have a mechanical problem, when you're running higher speeds, things just go worse faster.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, you know, best of luck to everybody out there, but that's just the nature of the beast for that type of racing.
So in the UTV Pro Unlimited, you had, in the top 10, you actually had 8 Can-Ams and 2 Polaris machines. So, of course, the Can-Am guys are loving that. However, if you go down to UTV Pro Turbo, it's basically in the top 10, a more even mix. Looks like you've got 5 Polarises, 4 Can-Ams, and 1 that they didn't list the make, so maybe a custom tube UTV, I don't know, but it didn't have a brand associated with it.
Even up, though.
Naturally aspirated, not a real surprise. Polaris was super dominant there, but they just have a wider selection of NA machines. Can-Am really just has the 900, and it's just not quite the same machine.
I don't think it's as popular either.
No.
I just don't think that many people go down that road with them.
No. I mean, there's differences between the XP Turbo and the 1000, but it's, the suspension is pretty similar between them. The transmission's different. I mean, you don't have the reverse chain in the turbo machine, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the suspension travel essentially the same between them?
Yes, they are. Parts are interchangeable even.
Yeah. So on the Can-Am, if you step down from the X3 to the natural aspirated 900, it is a shortened suspension travel. It has smaller wheels. Like there's a fair amount of difference there. It's not that they just took the turbos off.
Yeah.
So not a huge surprise to see Polaris being pretty dominant there. Did see one XX down in 11th place. Fortunately, it doesn't look like he finished, but...
Now, wait, what about the RS1 class?
There was one in the RS1 class. Let me jump down there because I can't remember her name all of a sudden. but I want to give her props. There we go.
Me.
Okay, UTV RS1 main, Katie Vernola. She won.
Well, congrats to her. Yeah. She also got second and third.
Yes, she got all the places. But there was one out there.
It kind of surprises me because RS1s are kind of, I'm not going to say they're big around here, but they definitely make up a decent portion of the race machines. Like
oh, yeah, for sure.
They're pretty common anyway. But now that I think about it, seeing like desert racing, you almost never see them out there, and I don't know why.
I'm not really sure. I think it's because, honestly, most people are going for a turbo machine. And
yeah, probably.
I think that's really what it comes down to. And in the NA class, I mean, they've got a separate class for the RS1s, but a lot of people, I think, have a lot of money built into these other two-seater NA machines and just prefer to run that, especially in the longer rally. They'd rather have a co-driver. They don't want to do it alone. So yeah. I think it's just that the Mint 400 is really a different beast than the normal racing that we do around here.
Yeah, it is. I'd still like to get out there and go see that, and I've talked to Veronica Weitzel about it some, and I think, eventually I'd like to try and get out there and participate in some form or fashion.
I think it'd be an absolute blast. And speaking of Veronica, she actually came in 9th in the UTV rally, and she had some trouble out there. She had, to say it was a transmission issue is kind of selling it short.
Yeah, she blew the transmission up in testing.
Yeah.
I think it was the day before.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2 days before, whatever it was. But basically, they were scrambling to try and find a transmission for their X3.
But they were able to find one. They were able to get it repaired and get out there. And like I said, she placed 9th, so she did really well out there.
Not bad at all.
No, that's a pretty, there's a lot of prep and a lot of stiff competition out there. The interesting thing is it's more of a specialized race, so I'm looking through the names here, and I recognize a few of them, but it's not names that, are kind of common household UTV names.
Right, and they don't cross over to the other sections normally. There's a few guys that will normally, like Dustin Jones goes out there and runs.
Yeah.
Some, and, the Millers... they don't run much desert stuff, but they'll run in some of the same races that some of the other guys do.
Yeah, Mitch Guthrie ran out there as well. You remember him from King of the Hammers just a couple weeks ago. So there's some names you'll recognize, but a lot of them are like, who are you?
Yeah, unless you actively follow that series.
Yeah,
the best in the deserts, but
and I still think the Mint is really dominated by the unlimited trucks and that kind of stuff. I mean. Big expensive stuff. UTVs have definitely taken off some, but you definitely get a different mix of drivers out there, which I think is neat. So you can go to, it's themint400.com is their site, and you can pick up all the official scoring there. Their Facebook page also has it pasted there, but it just takes you back to the website. So if you're interested in what happened, there's way too many to list here, but just want to let you know that the event's done in the books, and it seems to be there was a good year, other than the end over end that we posted earlier. It doesn't seem like there was any major catastrophes out there. People had major problems.
Yeah, there's always a few crashes like that at something like the Mint. So
oh yeah, totally unavoidable.
Yeah, you'll see videos. They're fun.
So really the next UTV racing is going to be Extreme and AXCC. Both open up their seasons on March 21st and 22nd. So that'll be 2 weeks from this weekend. Well, you guys will be seeing this on Tuesday just after. But
right.
AXCC is down in Oklahoma, so you're going to have about a 9 to 11 hour drive depending on where you're coming from if you're in Indiana. Extreme that's down in Bedford, so for me it's a 4-hour drive. For most people who are a little more centrally located, it's a couple hours.
Yeah, for me it's about an hour and a half or so, I think. Yeah. It's not bad.
So 2 season openers there. AXCC is going to be a bit of an expensive one. If you haven't seen the advertisements for that already, it's $60 a head to get in the gate. And I don't know what the age limit is for kids. I'm sure it's like 10 and under, or 12 or under get in free. But if you've got a family of older experienced racers and you're all bombing through the gate, it could get kind of expensive. We're just throwing it out there as a public service so you don't show up and expect to pay $15 a head and get blindsided by that.
Right, and there's a reason for it. This place offers a lot of amenities. I'm not for it or against it or whatever. It is what it is. but they have bounce houses for the kids, and they're going to have free beer. I mean, it's not something that I'm super interested in, but I mean, and yes, I did say free beer. So a lot of guys are probably go for that. I've seen several people that would get their money back and then some for the free beer.
It's kind of like insurance. If you charge everybody this rate, there's people who don't use it and people who really, really use it, and so it all averages out.
Right. But they have a bunch of things like that. It's really nice.
It's really kind of the Taj Mahal of off-road parks. Yeah. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff to do, a ton of stuff going on. So that mitigates the price for a lot of people. But like we said, we just want to let people know before they show up and go, what in the world is going on?
Yeah. I think they said their bathrooms are cleaned every hour.
Wow. That is really impressive. I've been to off-road parks where I'm not sure they were cleaned in a year.
Yeah. And then they just take the pressure washer in there and kind of hose them down real quick.
There you go. So they basically... I haven't talked to the owners directly, but a friend of the show has and reported back, and they basically said, we guarantee you're going to leave with a smile on your face. So that's what they're shooting for.
Yep.
And so, Pro Rock actually runs out there later this year as well.
Yes. So
I don't remember what month that is, but we'll get there when we get there.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't know. I have not memorized all the schedules of all the race series in the entire country yet.
No. The other thing that's opening up on a little bit sooner than that, next weekend, the 14th and 15th, is Lucas Oil Short Course. Now, they did away with the Midwest Short Course League, but they are still running short course. They're just running it further west. So if you're interested in that, again, you're going to see a lot of names you recognize there, and we'll be bringing you some coverage of that. So UTV's starting to pick up. There just wasn't a whole lot going on this weekend, but we wanted to kind of report the stuff we know and what's coming up, and there you go.
Yep. One quick update on the STM clutch tuning day that we're playing it by ear right now, but here's kind of what we're looking at. My ground is already soft still, not wet, but it's not dry. Like there'd be a few muddy spots for sure. And this week they're saying pretty much rain all week.
Not going to be good for full power launches.
Not good. So we're looking at a couple different options. They may go to the Badlands up in Attica because it's all sand and they can tune there. Or Matt Hecker has offered his property. He has 33 acres there that he said, you know, everyone's welcome to come run on. He doesn't really care if it gets torn up. The way his is set up, it's not a bad thing for him. For me, my ground torn up is problematic for the rest of the year then. So yeah, we're playing it by ear. If anybody's running STM clutches and wants to get in on the tuning with their factory guys, just let us know. We'll include you in any communications that we have with the rest of the group who's going to be going.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to do it for us today. We do want to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Of course, CW Motorsports for coming on board as the title sponsor this year. We've also got 834 Powder Coat out there, Spanx Fab, and Watch Communications. You can find us on the web at eminentperformance.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram /Eminent Racing. This video is available on YouTube if you hadn't figured that out already, but what we would appreciate is if you would subscribe, and once you've subscribed, click the little bell so that you're notified about any new videos that we put up in the near future.
Yep.
That should about do it.
Yep, that's about that. I mean,
feels like there's something else, but my brain's got too much going on, or not enough, however that works.
Yeah. Quick and dirty show this week, but then again, there wasn't a lot of UTV racing this week. We're kind of waiting for the whole season to still get up to full spin-up speed.
And we will be right there for all of it, but in the meantime, thanks for riding along with us, and we'll see you guys down the road.
Thanks, guys.